Greetings friends and strangers alike, welcome one and all. Pokemon Ruby with no evolutions was my first foray into Pokemon challenge videos, and while it was easy compared to the other challenges out there, I still had a ton of fun with it. Let's ramp up the difficulty a little for this one though, as we figure out, can we beat Pokemon Leaf Green with only male and female Nidoran? I really love the concept of the Nidoran lines. They have really cool looking evolutions, they have pretty diverse move pools for poison types, kind of on par with normal type Pokemon. And they are still to this day the only gender difference that manifests as two completely different Pokemon. As for their stats, well, it's not good. Male Nidoran is better at physical attack and speed, while female Nidoran is better in health and defense. But even so, both of their stats are pretty weak, with the totals being a fair amount less than base stage starter Pokemon. My prediction is that I can definitely do this, but there might be some trouble spots, such as the Psychic Gym and our rival's Alakazam for sure. Comment down below what level you think I can win at. Right, onto the rules of the challenge. Number 1, I'm only allowed to use male and female Nidoran in battle. I'll need other Pokemon for HMs to progress in the game, but they won't be allowed to fight. Number 2, no glitching or exploiting the game to my advantage. However, I do choose to use the emulator speed up function as well as save states, because I have limited time to make these videos. And number 3, no using items in battle except for Pokeballs, only held items are available. Let's see what we can do. So, using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer, we change our starter to the male Nidoran. I name him Phil, see if you can guess the reference. I replace Bulbasaur because our rival would then have Charizard, which I figure is probably the hardest Pokemon for us to fight in the end. We battle our rival and almost lose because he crit us, but we poisoned him due to our ability and we win. We got a pretty bad nature with Rash, which raises our special attack and lowers special defense, as we're a physical attacker. So this is pretty detrimental to our defenses, but I'm not going to change it. So we make our way onwards and it's pretty easy. We breeze through Viridian Forest as we start with Peck, a flying move, and we can't get poisoned by all the Weedle. I get to level 12 and learn Double Kick, which means Brock should be no problem. I beat my rival for the second time in 10 minutes to show him who's boss, and then I head up to the pewter and get a little culture from the local museum. Oh, and challenge the gym, I guess. The battle is completely one-sided, as you'd expect. I just kicked my way through his team like Chun-Li. I wasn't hitting Onyx particularly hard, but he wasn't doing much damage to me, and I had the power of fast-acting poison on my side. Easy first gym, but I expected that as I had a fighting move. We move on to Route 3 to find ourselves our partner in crime, the female Nidoran. We name her Lil. I hope a lot of you get the reference by now. Docile nature, so neutral stat gains, I'm pretty content with that. She's going to be a bit slower than Phil, but a bit more defensive. So we make our way through Mount Moon, dispensing street justice to the Team Rocket grunts that infest the area like cockroaches, and we get through to Cerulean. I head for the gym to see how we match up against Misty. Spoiler alert, Darth Vader is Luke's father. Also, we don't match up at all. Staryu outspeeds Phil and hits big damage with Water Pulse, while we do little with Double Kick. I managed to barely squeak past it with low health after using Lil after Phil goes down, but obviously Starmie takes me out no problem. We're probably going to need to outspeed the Starmie to take it down with Lil's Bite. I decide to go for our rival instead to see if he's ready for a third beatdown. He starts with Pidgeot and he's sand attacking. Luckily though, Phil isn't Anakin Skywalker, so he doesn't really mind the sand at all and hits every time to bring him down. Abra is out next, so I decide to switch to get rid of the debuffs. He can't hit me anyway. The engineer here tries to teleport but forgot to put up his second teleporter, so it does nothing and he goes down to bite. Rattata is here to party, so we switch to Phil to bring him down with two nice roundhouse kicks. And Charmander is out last and crits Phil with his second Ember to take him out. He then gets the burn on Lil with another Ember, but thankfully Bite is special in this generation, so we bite his head off for the win. That was a pretty close call. I clean up all of the trainers to the north and I try for Misty again. We still don't outspeed even Staryu and we get taken out easily. I level the siblings to 25 and we still don't outspeed and the damage is just too much to take. I need to grind more. Man, using the speed up function is really nice when it comes to slow grinds like this. I've said before the reason I allowed myself to use this is because I have limited time to make these videos and I want to get them done as fast as I can. I know some people consider it kind of cheating, but I would argue that I'm not exploiting the game itself as it's just a function of the emulator, not anything within the game. Let me know what you think though down in the comments. I level up to 27 and try again. I fail once due to bad confusion luck, but I try again and get this run. I finally outspeed Staryu, but I misclick and use Peck, but Staryu just hardens while I take him out with Horn Attack. Starmie is out next and I take its Water Pulses pretty well while doing decent damage with Horn Attack. Phil goes down, but Lil comes out to finish the job with an unnecessary crit bite. Man, that fight was really tough. I thought because I had a dark move it would be a cakewalk. I never expected a roadblock this early in the game. By the way, for all Misty's talk about being all-out offensive, she used Harden on more than half of my attempts. Sounds like Misty is a fraud. We used the Water Pulse TM we just got on Lil, as she will be the better choice for a special attacker I think, and it's the only damaging water move in the entire game that either Nidoran can learn. I realised I forgot to talk to Bill, and I refused to help him out of his hyper-realistic cosplay as a Clefairy because he used the word joshing. Apparently though we're Michael Sarah and we get forced into helping him out just because we're too nice to say no. I then head back down to this house to find out it's been robbed. Gee, I wonder where the perpetrator went. I beat up this innocent bystander outside and get the dig TM. I teach it to Phil. I figure it'll help us out down the road. We make our way down to Vermilion City and this ticket checking guy doesn't question how a 10-year-old got a ticket to a cruise liner as I'm clearly alone. This old guy is really angry at us for barging in, but I realise it's because he's doing his own Nidoran only challenge. I don't need any more rivals though, so I take him out. There can be only one. The rival fight on board the SSN is nothing special. I'm way higher level than him now, so it's mostly just a 1 or 2 shot sweep, with him mostly choosing to lower my accuracy over actually attacking me. I move on up towards Rock Tunnel and oh, right. This place is dark, huh? Well, I can't get the Flash HM because I haven't caught 10 Pokemon, so we're going in blind. Yeah, I could go and catch enough Pokemon just to fill the decks and release them, but I would argue that's a minor exploit of the rules as I can only catch other Pokemon for HM use. So we feel our way through the cave towards Lavender Town, and oh my god, I forgot about Lieutenant Surge! I completely forgot about the gym while I was in Vermilion and just went back north. I've played this game dozens of times, I'm such an idiot. So I have to go back through the pitch black cave that is full of children and take on Surge. Hey, at least I got the switch puzzle right first try, that never happens. I mopped the floor with him thanks to Dig, just one-shotting his entire team. That's not surprising, I had 10 levels on the guy and his Pokemon aren't very tanky. He gives me the Shockwave TM, which I teach to Lil. It's the only electric move we're going to have for a long time, so I figured it'll be useful here. We go back through Rock Tunnel for the 3rd time in 10 minutes, and we take on our rival in the Pokemon Tower, who's a bit more challenging this time. Pidgeot hits for a little damage with Quick Attack, but 2 Horn Attacks take him out no problem. His new Execute is out, so I switch for Lil, who one-shots it with Bite. Kadabra is next and disables my Bite, which is a really smart move. He then tries to tell me that there is no spoon, but I don't believe him as I crit Water Pulse to almost take him out. He then hits for half my health with Confusion as he goes down. Gyarados is out and we just don't take him out with Shockwave and he leaves us low with Thrash. Charmeleon is last and takes out Lil. I send in Phil and Dig brings him low. He tries to escape with his Ninja Smoke Bomb, but I find him and put him down with Horn Attack. With how much damage Kadabra did to Lil at a way lower level, I am terrified of Alakazam later on. I head over to Celadon City and go straight for the Grass Gym to challenge Stoner Erica. Victreebel is first but can't do much damage to me as I resist everything it has, so it paralyses me instead, and I whittle it down with my weak Peck. Tangela is out next and uses Ingrain, so it's going nowhere fast. It's only using Constrict though, which is about as powerful as Mouse Breath, so I slowly take him down with Peck. Vileplume is last, and we chip away at each other until Phil goes down to the slightly more powerful Giga Drain. She heals and I send out Lil. She paralyses me right away, but she must have mowed the lawn recently because there's not much grass anymore. What a stupid joke, why did I write that? Instead she uses Acid, which does next to nothing, and we bring her down with Bite for the win. I expected this one to be easy as we resist everything she has except for Tangela's mighty Constrict. Next I go do what every 10-year-old boy should be able to do without supervision. Gamble! This guy is very protective of his favourite band poster though, and he fights me over it. He opens up a stairway leading to a seedy basement, so of course I follow him down. The hideout is pretty easy, as is Giovanni, until Kangaskhan that is. I barely do any damage with Lil's double kick, and after 2 tail whips he wipes me out with a single Mega Punch. I send in Phil to get revenge on One Punch Man here and we win. I go back and clear out the Pokemon Tower with Lil biting her way through all of the ghosts. How do you bite a ghost anyway? I try to head into Saffron, but the guard is keeping the entire city under strict lockdown because he's thirsty. So me being the Brit that I am, know that the best thing to quench that thirst is a cup of tea, and not cactus juice. Sorry, Sokka. He then says he'll share it with the other guards, which is absolutely disgusting. Once I get into the city, I see a man passed out in the street. I head into this building to find help, only to find it taken over by Team Rocket. What a twist! Anyway, I decide to battle every grunt in here for the levels, as my level lead is quickly narrowing, and I figure I'm going to need to be over leveled for the Psychic Gym. Before that though, we have to take on our rival, who is also here because reasons? This Big Bird is first and it's doing a lot of damage with its wing attack, while Lil's Shockwave isn't doing as much as I hoped. I bring it down and next is Execute. I outspeed him but do less than I would like with Bite, and he puts me down with Confusion. Phil is out and I'm amazed that Peck doesn't finish him off and he paralyses me. He then one-shots me with a crit Confusion. Oh dear, this isn't looking good if Execute can do this much damage to me. I decide to head past the Snorlax to battle more trainers for experience, and it turns out I forgot to actually pick up the bike. Man, I'm so forgetful in this run apparently. I guess my mind just went blank back in Vermilion, huh? First I forgot to fight Lieutenant Surge, then I forgot to exchange the bike coupon that I got in Vermilion. I level up to level 47, which is when we learn our last level up moves. Horn Drill for Phil, which I don't bother with, and Crunch for Lil, which should be a nice upgrade to take out the Execute. I try again leading with Phil against Pidgeot, and he's doing around a third to me while I'm doing around a quarter to him. I get a crit though and take him out. Execute is next, so I switch to Lil, and Crunch just doesn't do enough to take him out in one shot, but thankfully he misses his stun spore, so we kill him. Man, I've got unlucky so far. Alakazam is out next, and while I would normally be wearing my brown pants at the sight of this thing, its only attacking move is Future Sight, so I'm not too worried. 2 crunches and it's done. Up next is Gyarados, and I send in Phil to take the Future Sight attack from before, as I figure Lil's move diversity will help us more. Lil is left low due to Gyarados losing Dragon Rage, however, and we're far too low for the Charizard who takes us out. Yeah, we're just going to need to be more powerful than this. I decide to leave our rival just standing there for now and take a crack at Koga. He really only uses Poison move, which we resist. He may just come out exploding right away though. I start with Lil against the Coughing and almost take it out with Crunch while he smoke screens. I go for the 100% accurate Shockwave and he just hangs on and uses Self-Destruct, but we survive. Next out is Muck, so I switch for Phil to use Dig, only to realise the true horror of the run so far. He has Minimize, which he can use before I hit Dig, meaning I miss. He also has Acid Armor, which buffs his defense. I'll never know how much damage I would have actually done after his buffs because I didn't hit a single Dig while he slowly took me down with Sludge. I send in Lil to use Shockwave to bypass the minimizers, only to have a deer in the headlights moment when I see just how little damage I do, even with a crit. After grinding some more and trying again at the rival, I'm still having no luck there. So I decide to give Koga another shot at level 54, this time with a different strategy. I lead with Phil to face the weaker Coughing. I do around half with his Horn attack, but he self-destructs anyway to leave me low. Muck is out next and I switch for Lil to use Shockwave to bypass his defense and evasion buffing. He does hit me a few times with Sludge, but even after a Hyper Potion, we take him down. The second Coughing is out, so I go back to Phil. 2 Horn attacks take it down, but leaves me on only 9 HP as Wheezing is out last. I leave Phil in to die and get off just a little bit of damage, and Lil is out. I try for Crunch, but he smoke screens to stop me from hitting the second one. Then hits me with Sludge to bring me into red health. I take the risk for another Crunch as I know Shockwave won't take it out from that range, and thankfully we hit to get the win. This fight and the rival have been such a brick wall, so I'm glad to overcome one of them at least. I'm the true ninja, Koga. Believe it! Afterwards, I decide to pop into the Safari Zone to get Surf. You know, I really like the Safari Zone, but I think the bug catching contest in Gen 2 games was so much better. I wish Pokemon had more little mini games like that. Fun fact, I did a Nuzlocke run of this game here on YouTube a few years ago, and I tried to use Repels so I could get Dratini as my encounter for the Safari Zone, and one actually showed up first try. It was a shame that it ran away after the first ball failure though. I guess that's what I get for trying to cheese it. So I grab the Surf HM and I pick up the gold teeth for the Warden. The old man then thanks me for finding his teeth and rewards me with a CD. I then insert the CD into my crab and give it the power to move a boulder in his house to get some secret candy. That may be the weirdest sentence I've ever said in my life. Also, why is nobody able to understand this guy just because he doesn't have his teeth in? He can still write, you don't need teeth for that. That's a weird thought actually. What if you wrote with your teeth? Before we try again at our rival in Silphco, I decided to head over to the power plant to pick up the Thunder TM to replace Shockwave. Now that we got past Muck and his insanely flexible dodging skills, I need to focus on power here to bring down Charizard, and this could certainly do the trick. On my way out, I run into Big Bird from Sesame Street. I get his autograph, then leave. Cool guy. He likes my hat. I go back to Silphco to get revenge against my rival. He's beaten me enough. I decide to lead with Lil and it pays off as I hit Thunder and take Pidgeot down in one hit. Execute with next, but we've been able to one-shot him with Crunch for a while, so he's no problem. I switch to Phil as Alakazam is out, but he goes for Reflect, so no problem there. I then take a bit of a risk and try to use Lil to take down both remaining Pokemon. Thunder hits Gyarados, who obviously goes down easy, and now it's the big moment. Charizard is out and he's smoke screening. I try for Thunder and miss twice in a row. The Pyro hits me with his insane flamethrower for around 80 HP, and I finally hit Thunder. To my shock, it just doesn't take him out, but it does paralyze him, so now I outspeed and hit with Water Pulse to bring him down. We've finally broken through the wall, ladies and gentlemen. Now that our rival is out of the way, we head on upstairs to face Giovanni. I throw his guard to one side and kick the door open, coming out blasting. Giovanni tried to put up a fight, but after our rival, this guy is a joke. We barely break a sweat as we beat him while not even looking up from our phone watching our favourite episode of Friends. The Silphco CEO then gives me a useless ball instead of a real reward, so I throw it on the ground in front of him, then leave. Time for Sabrina. We outspeed and one-shot the Kadabra with Crunch, and Mr. Mime almost goes down to a single Crunch, but he just barriers. And Melissa Joan Hart here really tries to keep her Mime alive by using both of her potions, but we take him down anyway. Alakazam is out, and to make up for the poor showing so far, he outspeeds and one-shots both of the siblings with Psychic. Okay, here I was a little disappointed that the gym was going too easily. Be careful what you wish for, kids. I try again at level 58 and Phil can now outspeed Alakazam, but we still get one shot with Psychic. I go to the Celadon game corner and buy enough coins to get the TM for Iron Tail. I replace Peck as it's pretty weak at this point and I'm hoping a more powerful physical attack will one-shot Alakazam. I try again and still one-shot with Kadabra with Crunch and Mr. Mime is out. The second phase is same as the first though, as she uses both of her potions while I knock it low with Crunch. Next out is Alakazam and I switch for Phil, who manages to one-shot it with Iron Tail. Big weight lifted there. Last out is Venomoth and it survives a dig with half health and confuses me. I miss an Iron Tail and hit myself in confusion as it side beams me twice to leave me low, but I break through the confusion and hit an Iron Tail to finish it. That was just as scary as I thought it would be. Her team really wasn't that threatening except for the Alakazam. This makes me even more afraid of our rivals later in the game. So next up is Blaine in the Cinnabar gym. I surf over from Pallet Town as I hear everyone is doing that in the USA these days. I go through the gym trainers and don't have any real trouble, but it worries me that I'm not able to one-shot a few of them with Water Pulse. I have Dig on Phil for more super effective coverage, but two of Blaine's Pokemon have Intimidate, so I don't know if I can rely on it. To help out the Water Pulse a little bit, I grab the Mystic Water from the Celadon game corner and give it to Lil. Let's give Blaine a shot. I come in at level 60 and I have to say I wasn't expecting this. Agatha is out first, so I use Lil to avoid Intimidate and she one-shots with Water Pulse. Ponyta is out next, so I switch to Phil to go for Dig. Thankfully it doesn't use Bounce to avoid it and we take it down in one shot. Rapidash is up next and I almost take it down with a single dig, but he heals. He hits me with Fire Blast, but I tank it pretty well, and a second dig takes it down in one. I guess we're in the damage range. That's nice. Out last is the big dog Arcanine, so I switch back to Phil because of Intimidate, and we one-shot it with Water Pulse due to a crit. I legit laughed out loud during the recording when that happened. I was bigging Blaine up in my head as a big threat because Fire Blast from his Arcanine would have been brutal, but I guess we'll never know. See you later, Dr. Eggman's skinny grandpa. I'm off to the Viridian gym. Oh man, I always forget that Bill shows up now to show you the Sevi Islands, a bunch of new areas in this remake. You know, I actually really like the Sevi Islands. Yeah, there isn't a great deal of stuff to do on them, but they do have some really cool looking locations, and they start introducing Gen 2 Pokemon in the wild. And I love Gen 2. Johto is my favourite region. So I head to Viridian City and make my way through the gym to see that the final gym leader is our good friend Giovanni. He's gone from a cold and intimidating mafia boss to a full-on anime villain, which is an improvement if you ask me. I get through his first Rhyhorn fine, and Dugtrio's Earthquake does a lot less than I expected to Lil, but out is Nidoqueen. I switch for Phil but make the age-old mistake of trying to dig in a ground gym, and she snaps me into dust with a 4x damage Earthquake. I was curious and ran a damage calculator with the knowledge that I had about that Nidoqueen, and that could have done around 200% of my health. Yeah. Ouch. I get through her with Lil, but she's too low and goes down to Nidoking. I teach the Blizzard TM I got to Lil, as she's got far better special attack, and I try again, hoping it's powerful enough to one-shot the Nidos. I was right to hold on to hope, as it is the source of men's strength, as Blizzard is enough to one-shot our mum and dad, while Water Pulse takes out the rest. I'm finding that Lil is the far better team member as the game goes on. I could teach Phil some of these special attacks, but his special attack is way lower than Lil's, so I feel like it would be a waste. I head on to try out my rival before Victory Road, and man are we in trouble. He's had a big level increase since last time, whereas it's only been a few for us, so the level lead is getting thinner. His Alakazam can outspeed Phil again, and Charizard is back up to being able to one-shot both with Flamethrower. Well, as I used to say whenever I logged into my RuneScape account back in the day, it's time to grind. I actually decide to go back to Bill, who I left just standing there on Cinnabar Island, to do the Sevi Island side quest, as I figure there are a few trainers out there for the experience, and I kinda want to see the sights. I come back at level 68, stopping just short of a double 69 because that would make me too powerful. I can outspeed and one-shot Pidgeot with Thunder now, so it's no threat. Phil outspeeds Alakazam and hits Iron Tail to one-shot. Rhyhorn goes down to one Water Pulse and Gyarados is out. One Thunder, gone. Charizard is here to party and I managed to tank a Flamethrower and hit Thunder for big damage. Lil goes down and Phil is out. I outspeed it and use my new secret power to get the Paralyze effect, but Charizard breaks through and hits Flamethrower to leave me on just 4 HP. It goes down and Execute is out last, and I have to one-shot this thing. I go for Iron Tail and get a crit to finish the fight. I'm glad that's one more hurdle down, but man, I'm going to struggle hard against the final rival fight. I think I'm probably going to need to be in the 80s. There was nothing too interesting to report going through Victory Road, but at the end, this guy will teach me Double Edge. I teach it to Phil to replace Double Kick, which has kind of outstayed its usefulness at this point, and I figure the high damage Double Edge could come in handy at some point. Alright, it's almost time for the end. We've traversed the entire country, taking down crime organisations, beating the 8 toughest trainers out there. But now, our last and greatest test before the Elite Four, a mildly inconvenient assortment of traffic barriers. Seriously, I have no idea what the point of this thing here is. Like, let me go beat the Elite Four already. I grind up to level 75 on both siblings, and I decide to give the Elite Four a shot. Up first is the hot librarian Lorelei. I always pronounced that Lorelei as a kid, because I was an idiot. Anyway, I lead with Phil against Dugong, and Iron Tail does less than I hoped for, but she just puts up Hail, so she only gets off a single Ice Beam before she goes down. Cloyster is next, and it just wastes my time and my PP on Thunder by protecting twice, but it doesn't escape my Bolt for a third time and goes down. Slowbro is out next and almost goes down to a Thunder, and Lorelei full restores. 2 crunches send it crying back to its master. She then says enough is enough and sends in her ace Lapras, but I do big damage with Thunder and get super lucky with Lapras being paralysed. Then it's unable to move the next turn, so we just take it out. Jinx is out last to terrify me to my very soul, but one Iron Tail puts her down. That was a super easy fight, but then I did get a bit of luck. On to Bruno, and Onyx leads the Vanguard. Lil takes him out with a single Water Pulse. Bruno then sees how well his first Onyx did, so he sends out his second to get taken out the same way. Hey Bruno, did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? Anyway, Hitmonchan is out and I don't have any super effective attacks for this guy, so we just take turns beating each other until he goes down with a little help from our Poison Point. Hitmonlee comes in and leaves Lil with a sliver of cake and also health after a Mega Kick, so she's down, but gets off her Poison Point as final revenge. Phil comes in and a single Iron Tail brings him into KO range for Poison, but he lets loose a huge kick and leaves me on half health. Machamp is out last and he uses Bulk Up, so now it's going to be tough. I paralyse him with Secret Power and try and get him low enough so that he won't heal, but I end up critting Dig, so that plan fails. He heals and hits a Cross Chop to take me out. That Bulk Up is rough. I have to face Machamp with higher health than that. I try again and both of the Onyx go down the same way because Bruno doesn't learn. I decide to use Phil for Hitmonchan because I didn't research his team beforehand to learn that the Hitmons have better special defense than defense. He's down and Hitmonlee leaves me low with Mega Kick as my Poison Point kicks in. He outspeeds Phil due to an earlier Rock Tomb and takes me out. Lil is out to defend her brother's honour and finishes Walmart Bruce Lee, but not before taking a huge kick to the jaw. Machamp is out last and I call a timeout to look up move power in the middle of the fight, but Bruno allows it because he doesn't fight dirty. My Thunder doesn't do enough damage, but luckily he misses his Rock Tomb. My Water Pulse confuses him, and on a nice stroke of luck, he punches himself in the face while I pull a Zeus and kill him with a Lightning Bolt. I was expecting that to go a little easier, as Bruno is usually the whipping boy of the Elite Four, but not having a super effective move made it a chip battle. Next up is Sassy Old Lady Agatha. I lead with Lil hoping she can bite her way through the ghost like she did back in the Pokemon Tower, but it doesn't go as planned. Her first Gengar is faster and confuses me, then starts with its double team. I managed to hit twice in a row with her healing in between and even got a special defense drop. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, however, as I missed twice in a row before I finally one-shot her with Crunch while I'm low on health. Haunter is out but goes down in one Crunch. Gengar round 2 is out and misses Hypnosis, and I survive its Shadow Ball with 2 HP to bring it down in 2 Crunches. Golbat is out and obviously it's faster, and it even BMs me by killing me with a poison move. That's just mean. I bring out Phil and hope for a Paralyze with Secret Power, but no dice. She crits me with Air Cutter, then full restores. It's over the next turn after I miss an Iron Tail. I know I can win this fight if I get better luck against the first Gengar. My fortune telling career kicks off as I do in fact win the next attempt. The first Gengar goes down easy enough, but a miss means it gets in a couple of Shadow Punches. Haunter falls down in a strong breeze, and we again get good luck with the second Gengar missing Hypnosis twice in a row for us to take it down. Golbat almost takes us out with a crit Air Cutter after a missed Thunder, but we hit the second time and kill it in one shot. Arbok is last, so I decide to leave Lil in to die just so Intimidate doesn't activate against Phil. We make the tough choices here on this channel. I Thunder for half its health and Phil is out. One dig is enough to bring it down. Last up for the Fantastic Four is Lance. He tells me Dragon Pokemon are mythical, which is a lie, then starts the battle with Gyarados, who isn't a dragon. Lance is a fraud in a fancy cape. Anyway, the big guy is no problem, he goes down with a single Thunder. Aerodactyl, another non-dragon, is out, so we send in Phil. We hit each other for huge damage like the titans we are, and he full restores. I chip him with Secret Power hoping for the Paralyze, but it doesn't work and he gets off the stat boost from his next Ancient Power. Now I'm in trouble. He takes out Phil with Hyper Beam. That was actually a huge stroke of luck for me, as now he can't move and I take him out without getting hit. Here comes Dragonite and I'm faster, but I miss my Blizzard and I'm staring down the barrel of defeat. Turns out his gun wasn't loaded, however, as for some reason he's just used a Safeguard and I take him out next turn. Blaster is 2 Dragonair, but to my surprise I actually one-shot them both with Blizzard. I thought for sure it wasn't powerful enough to kill them in one shot. I'll take that first try victory, however. Now we're into the last fight of the game. Pidgeot is first and of course I miss my Thunder and it starts sand attacking so I miss more. I swear the only reason that an early game move is in the final fight because the developers know how annoying accuracy drops are. After a few more rounds I finally hit to take him out. Second is Alakazam and he outspeeds Phil and sweeps me with Psychic. I did feel like I was riding my luck a little at this level. I try again a few more times but it's obvious I'm at a brick wall here. I grind for a few levels and try again at 78. A few tries, still not enough. Try again at level 82. Still not even close. Level 86 looked promising as I can now outspeed Alakazam with Phil, but I still can't one-shot it and Psychic one-shots me. After a few more failed attempts, I grind up more to level 89 and after yet more failed attempts, this is a run I got. Lil can now outspeed Pidgeot so it goes down with 1 Thunder. Alakazam is out next and I one-shot it with Phil's Iron Tail. Man, I hate Alakazam so much right now. I'll never look the same way at a spoon again. Executor is next but Winter is coming as Lil takes it out with Blizzard. Rhydon is up but a glass of water could take him down so he's nothing. Gyarados rises from the waves but a Thunder sends him right back down to the depths. Last is Charizard. I switch for Phil hoping to paralyze from Secret Power. He hits me with huge damage from Fire Blast and burns me with a hurtful comment. Still no paralysis and I'm down to a slash. Lil now has to survive a Fire Blast and hit Thunder to win. She makes us proud though as we win the fight to get into the Hall of Fame. My word, that challenge was tough. I knew Alakazam would be a problem and boy I was right. It's a shame I had to be such a high level to win, but there was just no winning if I couldn't kill Alakazam in one shot. Of the 2 Pokemon, I was a lot more impressed with Lil just because she had the far better move variety. I would have loved to have taught the Sludge Bomb TM for Phil for a really great stab physical move, but unfortunately it's a post-game TM. I enjoyed this challenge nonetheless, and I am super stoked to do more. Leave your suggestions down in the comments for what challenges you want to see in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing for more content. I stream over on Twitch 4 days a week, so come by and tell me this video sent you. It's great to hear stuff like that. I also have a Twitter account where I say funny things once in a blue moon. Lastly, feel free to join the Woodland Realm Discord server to keep up with the discussion off camera. All links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.